The dark side of when someone is jealous of you. This is printed in PsychCentral.com. We all know that feelings of jealousy and envy can lead to feelings of anxiety, worthlessness, and even acts of verbal and physical abuse. It's not just that the person feeling jealous whose psyche is damaged. It's harmful to the person who is the object of the jealousy and envy too. Jealousy and envy are dangerous, and they can even lead to serious harm. Certain forms of jealousy and envy are accepted in many cultures and subcultures, especially envy that motivates a person to achieve. Film, fiction, even historical documents acknowledge how people have been motivated by jealousy and envy, but people can be harmed by them too. When a child picks on another child and the victim is often told that the other child is just jealous of them, this is meant to placate them. They are told they should be flattered. Often this isn't actually the case. Children and adults are bullied and abused for all kinds of reasons, and jealousy is only one among them. But if in fact it's the case that someone is indeed jealous or envious of you, it isn't always something that can and should be brushed off. It may be a way to modify your conscience or boost your ego. And these aren't necessarily benefits. Attracting envy? Well, if you've been doing your utmost to attract envy, then you may want to reconsider. It's time to think about living for your own approval and not anyone else's. But not your fault? Well, what if you're reasonably modest? Don't brag about your achievements or try to attract too much attention, but someone's envious of you anyway. Some people can feel so inadequate that they simply can't stand if someone else has something they don't. For instance, I have a former client who's super talented, and whatever she touches turns into figurative gold. She's very successful financially and has raised some children of tremendous character as well. She's also truly warm and kind. And to me, it's just a given that whoever knows her likes her. But she confided to me that a woman in her social circle is jealous of her and has even badmouthed her to the point of causing her quite a bit of heartache. I know how she deals with it, and she told me that the only thing that has gotten her through was her faith. She said that by trying to befriend the woman only made it worse. She tried confronting her, and it only added fuel to the fire. And after she was confronted, this person went around saying that she'd been unjustly attacked and vilified. Over time, some of her acquaintances even began bad-mouthing her as well, saying that they knew all along that she was too good to be true. Envy reared its ugly head. A colleague was in a similar situation, and in fact, this situation overlapped yet another envy situation. In my colleague's situation, the jealous guy did his best to undermine his leadership position in the community. Being gossiped about with distortions of the truth is bad enough, but there are outright lies. In my situation, something similar happened, though my situation wasn't extreme. Well, how did the three of us solve our problems? Everyone uses a variety of methods, and the fortunate ones have good friends who told us what was going on, so we knew what we were dealing with. Cold and dark winter days. Most important, once we thought about what was going on, none of us allowed it to harm our self-esteem, although it made us more leery about being so quick to trust others. Not everyone's so fortunate. The dark side of envy. It may have begun with Cain and Abel, but it doesn't end there. Adrienne Reynolds, a teenager in Eastmoreland, Illinois, was pretty popular. And then she was murdered because of it. Sarah Kolb and Corey Gregory strangled, burned, and dismembered their classmate because of a jealous argument. They were both tried and sentenced to more than 40 years in prison. Melanie Smith burned her entire family to death because of her jealousy and envy, and she was sentenced to 30 years in prison. Christine Polila killed 4 of her friends in a complicated situation that was exacerbated by both jealousy and envy. And of course, there are many more such examples. We have to remember that jealousy and envy are toxic. Misplaced anger. For most of us, the dark side of having someone envy us is finding that we were the subject of gossip, perhaps not invited to the party, no worse. But for some of us who are the objects of envy and jealousy, losing a job, relationship, or friendships can result, or worse. Dealing with the damage. If you find out that you're the subject of jealousy and envy before damage is done, talking might clear the air. Certainly you have the right to confront someone, but if your behavior has been boastful or arrogant, maybe not. If some damage has already been done to your reputation or relationships, you have 2 options: holding your head high and ignoring it, or talking to anyone and everyone and telling them what's really been going on. Sometimes there's enough to totally take the power out of someone's jealous gossip.